When you rescue a puppy, you don't just save a life, you rewrite a story. But sometimes, fate has its own plot twist waiting in the wings. This is the story of a tiny foster puppy named Rio, a pool party full of strangers, and one moment that turned a chapter into a miracle. Rio had come into the world like so many others unseen, unwanted, forgotten. Born under a rusted-out trailer at the edge of a junkyard, Rio's first memories were not of warm beds or soft voices, but of hunger and cold nights. His mother, a young Labrador mix, did everything she could. She nursed her litter beneath the wreckage, tucked them away from the wind, and scoured the trash-strewn lots for anything edible. But one by one, her puppies disappeared, some taken by passersby. Only Rio survived. He was found barely alive under an old tire, shaking and whimpering, his ribs showing through paper-thin skin. A good Samaritan named Elise spotted him while dropping off recyclables and didn't hesitate. She wrapped him in her sweater, placed him in her car, and whispered, "You're safe now." At the local rescue shelter, Rio's survival was he was weak, dehydrated, and emotionally distant. Every loud sound made him flinch. Every time someone walked away, he cried. But he was a fighter, and Elise, who had already fostered a dozen dogs, couldn't bring herself to let him go. So she took him home just for a few weeks. She told herself. Weeks turned to months. Rio grew stronger. His belly filled out, his coat began to shine, and the spark in his eyes returned. He learned the joy of tug toys, the thrill of chasing butterflies, and the comfort of sleeping in a real bed, Elise's bed. But more than anything, Rio learned to trust. Elise's laugh became his favorite sound. Her footsteps down the hallway were a signal to leap from the couch and meet her at the door. He was still nervous around strangers, but with Elise, he felt safe, like he belonged. And then came the moment. All fosters dread the call. A family had seen Rio's photos online and wanted to adopt him. A big yard, 2 kids, a golden retriever sibling. It sounded perfect. Elise smiled through the conversation, nodded through the logistics, and agreed to drop Rio off the following Saturday. She didn't cry until the call ended, and she didn't stop crying until Rio was gone. That weekend, the house felt unbearably quiet. His leash still hung by the door. His toys were still scattered in the living room. The spot on the couch where he used to curl up was painfully empty. But Elise knew this was the mission. Rescue, rehabilitate, rehome. She just hadn't expected it to hurt this much. Weeks passed, then came an unexpected message from a friend. The local animal rescue was hosting a pool party, fundraiser, dogs, kids, food, splash zones. Would Elise come, bring some of her past fosters? She almost said no. But something in her heart tugged. Maybe it was time to smile again. Maybe seeing all those joyful pups would help fill the ache. The sun was blazing when Elise arrived. Music played softly in the background. Dozens of dogs ran around in playpens, chased floating balls, or paddled in small pools set up across the park. Laughter echoed from every corner. It was beautiful and overwhelming. She moved through the crowd slowly, greeting volunteers, accepting a cold drink, stopping to scratch the ears of a slobbering mastiff. Then, in the distance, she saw him. At first, she thought she was imagining it. That tail, that lopsided run, that familiar little hop when he turned corners. Rio, he was bigger now, more muscular. His coat had darkened slightly, but it was him, playing fetch with 2 kids near the deep end, barking joyfully, totally at home. Elise's heart clenched. She didn't want to interrupt. She didn't want to confuse him. So she stood still, half hidden behind a table, watching the dog she'd once cradled in her arms, living his best life. And then it happened. Rio dropped the ball, mid-run. His ears perked up. His entire body froze. And then he saw her. The world might as well have stopped spinning in that moment. The music, the chatter, the noise, all of it faded. He didn't hesitate. He didn't look back. He ran, full speed, splashing through puddles and weaving through people. And when he reached her, he leaped into her arms. Elise clapped to her knees as Rio buried his face in her neck, whining, licking, crying. His whole body trembled with joy and disbelief. She wrapped her arms around him and whispered, "I missed you too, baby." Gasps echoed around the crowd. People stopped to watch. Phones came out. A few bystanders began to cry. The family Rio had been adopted by came rushing over. The mother was smiling, teary-eyed herself. "We've never seen him react to anyone like that," she said softly. "He loves us. But this is something else." They knelt down beside Elise and gently rubbed Rio's back. "He's yours. He always was." Elise blinked through tears. "But I thought you were his forever." The woman nodded. "Sometimes forever finds a different way. He needs you. You need him. And we'll find another pup who needs us. We believe in soulmates." Clearly, so does he. That day, at a simple doggy pool party, a foster became forever. Rio went home with Elise that evening, falling asleep in the back seat with his paw on her arm. Since then, the two have been inseparable. Rio accompanies Elise to every rescue meet, not just as a mascot but as a reminder that the bond between an animal and a human is more than shelter and meals. It's connection, it's heart, it's family. And to this day, Elise says whenever she walks into the room and Rio spots her, his eyes light up like that pool party moment all over again. Not all stories get a second chance, but some do, and when they do, it's unforgettable.